I now have the distinguished honor to introduce His Excellency Ban Ki-moon, the 8th Secretary General of the United Nations. His Excellency brings to his post 37 years of service both in government and on the global stage. Prior to his election as Secretary General, he was Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade for the Republic of Korea. His previous experience includes postings in New Delhi, Washington, D.C., and Vienna, assignments with the UN, and leadership in promoting a peaceful Korean peninsula. Please give a warm welcome to the Secretary General of the United Nations, His Excellency Ban Ki-moon.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kevin Chan, Secretary General of the Model United Nations, Ms. Gabriela Gutierrez, Deputy Secretary General of the Model United Nations, Ambassador Bill Lewis, dear friends, I'm fascinated and very much impressed by all your big turnout, and I thank the Whit Clinton High School Choir for beautiful songs. It is wonderful for me to be here with you and look out at such an energetic audience. I'm very grateful to all the students, teachers, and faculty advisors who make this program possible. Global Classrooms is raising awareness about human rights, sustainable development, and peace, the same goals we are promoting at the United Nations. Sitting here amidst of you, all young leaders in the future, I feel a little bit threatened because there are so many potential secretaries general here. But I'm willing to give my seat to all of you, whoever will take my job in the future. I want to talk a bit about the United Nations in today's world, and most of all, I want to hear from you. So I'll keep my remarks brief. The international community increasingly recognizes the importance of our work. The United Nations has been very effective in a number of areas. And as a result, we are getting more and more responsibility. I've been saying to my colleagues that pendulum of history is now swinging back to multilateralism, that is the United Nations. For example, we have over 100,000 UN peacekeepers all around the world in 18 missions. That's an all-time high. The United Nations keeps second largest forces in the world, only next to the United States. But we don't always get the resources we need to fulfill our responsibilities. Darfur is one example. We are in the process of mounting our largest peacekeeping operations there, but we still don't have enough troops, equipment, especially helicopters. At the same time, we have to acknowledge that right now the United Nations is under threat. The terrorist attacks against the United Nations offices in Algeria last year showed just how dangerous our work has become. But we are not deterred by these tough conditions. If anything, we are more determined than ever to press forward with our mission to promote peace, development, and human rights. In this effort, we need more than resources. We need more than governments. We need the energy and enthusiasm of global citizens committed to making this world a better place. Take climate change. I'm doing my part as Secretary General to push governments to reach an agreement limiting greenhouse gas emissions. That's important, but it's not enough. We need people everywhere to conserve natural resources. We need a top-down approach, and we need the grassroots efforts if we are going to reverse environmental damage and preserve our planet for future generations, for all of you. You are central to this effort. So please indulge me while I tell you a true story about someone whom I know very well. His name is Dr. Han Sung-soo, currently a Prime Minister of Korea, where I come from. When he was a young boy, he lived in an isolated village in the mountains side of my country, Korea. He had to get up at dawn, early in the morning, and travel for miles, crossing 2 different rivers just to get to school. The only thing that kept him going was the dream that he might one day become President of the United Nations General Assembly. He later wrote that this great dream, I quote, offered one destitute boy the hope and sense of purpose needed to continue studying, unquote. It was a great dream, but I think, looking back, it was also a very unlikely, unrealistic dream. Because at that time, Korea was not even a member of the United Nations. That young man had about the same chance of becoming the President of the General Assembly of the United Nations as being abducted by aliens and taken to Mars. Still, he never gave up his dream. He studied hard and began to work on the international scene. And finally, in 2001, right here in this room, he was elected the President of the United Nations General Assembly, the 56th session of the General Assembly. I worked as his Chief of Staff at that time. I'm sure you've guessed that I'm telling you this story because you are young and you should cherish great dreams for the future, no matter how impossible they may seem. That's true, but it's not my main point. You have probably already heard that you should dream big, dream big. You should have a big ideals and high aspirations. Here's the difference at the United Nations. When Dr. Han was inaugurated as President of the General Assembly, he felt very happy, of course, but he also felt, in his words, again I quote from his book, the tremendous weight of the mission for world peace and development that fell on his shoulders. You are all here because you are concerned about the world at large. You have a higher sense of purpose that draws you to think beyond the borders of your own country. I want to encourage you to continue on this path and to dream big. But I feel I can be honest with you. There are easier roads to travel. On this one, you will feel the tremendous weight of responsibility that comes when we open our eyes to all the sufferings in this world and resolve to try to change it. I hope you will stay with me on this difficult path cut by the United Nations, because ultimately it is also the most rewarding one, leading to a better world for all people in the world. Thank you very much, and I'll be happy to exchange views with you. Thank you very much.